We're back from our Final Four trip. Hello, everyone. Thanks for bearing with us this week. It's a weird thing where when we go on site on one of these really awesome trips, it ends up actually like hurting our audience in a way because we make less content than we normally do from there. But we had fun at the Final Four, and we're back and looking forward to getting into the off season with all of you. We had some requests that I saw for people to just basically give a little story time. How'd our trip go? And that's what this video is going to be. Cart, good to see you. This is the first video we're recording after being back.
Yeah, great start to our week off of content. Just truly special human beings as we always are. But no, I think the main story that I want to tell or get across is that this Final Four delivered. Like the whole like it being number one seeds, it being the best teams in the country thing. There could have been there could have been a blowout in there, right? Duke could have blown the doors off of Houston. The championship game could have maybe not lived up to the expectations, but I mean, every single game came down to the last 4 minutes. I think I saw a stat that every single Final Four game, the team that was leading at the 4 minute mark or the final TV timeout mark lost the basketball game. And you had special performances from everyone, winnings and losing team. Walter Clayton, Cooper Flagg. I think it delivered in every way that I thought it could, which is saying something because there was a lot of expectations coming into it, right? Like the chalk at the Riverwalk was very much a thing, and it being, all these number one seeds was very much a thing, and I personally think it delivered.
Yeah, I mean the games were awesome. Hard to say they
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
deliver, but there was just a level of I think mystique to it that felt different than our previous trips. Maybe that's the way I would put it. Like they're not that the Final Four isn't always cool, but it just felt like these four fan bases were all there to win a national championship. There was no like happy to be there element. There was no like we're the underdog, hope we make it a game. It was like no, we're the best team here. We're gonna punk y'all. And that made it like ferocious and competitive and high stakes. And I think that was embodied from the jump. But let's kind of walk people through our trip because I think that's one of the fun sides of this whole experience of being content creators is we can take people behind the scenes. We had an Airbnb with two other members of our team. Dion came with us, and then Jacob, our producer, JK, came with us. And this is actually the first time that we met Dion and JK. And serendipity had it that we all met at the airport at the same time. Was that great logistical planning by you, Card, or how did that happen?
Yeah, I think it was the one logistical thing I did right during this whole trip, which we'll get into. But yeah, first time meeting Dion and JK in person. Definitely some things I expected. I saw it coming. JK came quads out to the airport. That was like minus 9,000. Uh, Dion was short. That was like minus 7,000. But the kids delivered, I must say. And I say kids, but they delivered. There's a situation where they're underwhelming as people, or they don't come across as they do on Zoom or just talking via the phone. Uh, but it was a special link up, special DAP immediately by the baggage claim. Knew it was only going to go up from there.
Yeah, and like when you get to the hometown Final Four airport, it's usually a very chaotic scene during Final Four week, no matter when you get in. And we got in on
Friday.
Friday,
Yeah.
which is like a little late compared to when most people get in. A lot of people go in like Wednesday or Thursday on the media side. And we got in on Friday, so it was hectic. Like Peyton Sanford was right there. Like I'm trying to dap JK and Dion, but I'm distracted by Peyton Sanford in like board shorts just minutes away. There was a
And
Sabaro,
you got a slice.
and there was a Sabaro. I got two New York slices. But no, it was great. It was fun. There was definitely a different, just like the Final Four with the teams, there was a different feel to this trip, I think, for you and I, because in all previous iterations of this trip, it's been just you and I going as like Greg and Carter and our friendship and like yeah we're there on behalf of sleepers but we had other obligations going on. This was the
Mm.
first one where we're like our company is here as a company, and it's been fun for me through these 4 years to see the evolution of that. Like I went on site and brought you for the field of 68 and did that for 2 years. Then last year it was like Greg and Carter going together for Bleacher Report. And then this year, like we were there because we wanted to be there, because we could be there, not to humble brag, but because like Sleepers got credential, we put a lot of work in this year. And that meant we were able to bring producer JK to the game. Shout out to Dion because Dion did buy his own ticket and meet us, but it was just great to have him there and make content on as part of that. So yeah, that was the plan. So we get this Airbnb, and then Dion's favorite words of the weekend were, "We could be recording this right now." It did feel like maybe a lesson learned for future trips. As the leader of this enterprise, could have been a little more direct on like what our plans were day to day, because we really just did not record much while being there. We kind of just had a really fun time and picked a couple spots to put videos up.
Yeah, could there have been more recording? Yeah. Um, also Dion did say it about 40 times throughout the whole weekend.
At least 40 times. Just like not to throw JK under the bus, but we could be recording this right now. And every single time JK would just like stare with this little wry smile through his soul and not record. It cracked me up every time. It was funny. But so you the big theme I think of the trip, at least between our little foursome, was definitely that you had been Mr. Logistics. You had
Yeah.
booked all of this. And I will say, we gave you a lot of shit. I made a lot of jokes and just derogatory statements at your expense, which we'll get to. But in your defense, you were in a pretty tough spot to book this trip on the front end because of my child. We didn't know for sure that I was going to go until very late, until after baby had arrived a couple weeks before the Final Four. And I think outside of that, you kind of made JK squirm a little bit before booking his trip. So
hmm
just talk us through the logistics, give people a picture of what you painted for us this week.
Yeah, so one, the thing about Final Fours is there's something to go to. There are also lessons. I think I've learned something from every Final Four that I've been through. Moving forward as a media company, we're just gonna be media hotel people. I think that's what we're gonna be. If I gotta book four separate rooms for four separate people, I'll do that. But we're gonna be media hotel people. I thought that I think I overthought it a little bit. Saw the Airbnb. I was like, this is gonna have bedrooms, it's gonna have space. It's gonna have everything we need. Um, Logistically wasn't the best location, I guess you would say. Commute was a thing, getting to and from downtown San Antonio, but you know, it, you live and you learn.
Have we determined what the actual distance of the commute was? Because I was throwing wild numbers around. You were
Yeah,
coming in
I
a
mean,
little light.
yeah, it went back and forth. It wasn't 15 like I said. Was not 45 like you said. It was somewhere between 20 to 25 minutes given traffic.
I'd put it 25 to 30. But yeah, we found the right 10-minute window now to land in.
But also Greg was going around telling people we were an hour away.
I was telling people it was an hour away. It did feel at many times that we were an hour away. But in your defense, Airbnb was dope when we were there. And we did spend much of one of the days of this trip on Sunday, mostly just hanging out at the Airbnb, making some videos. And that was actually a really fun day. So I saw the vision. I know what we were going for with the Airbnb, but I think I echo your sentiment. So just to give everybody like I guess the vibe of this. San Antonio is a really dope Final Four city. Everybody says that. I agree with it after being there. Would you agree with that? Like, it's a pretty great location for an event like this.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah. So it's like the reason it's great is because there's the Riverwalk area. If you haven't been to San Antonio, like all these bars, restaurants, and just shops right along this river. And it runs through the city. It's a pretty great, nice downtown area. They had the big fan festival. They had concerts. T-Pain was there. Jelly Roll was there. And all these studio shows, like all ESPN, College Game Day, everybody you were watching on TV this weekend was doing it right from outside the Riverwalk, which is basically a 5-minute walk from the stadium. And then they had a lot of the media hotels, like where you would pick up your credential, all right there as well. So once you get down there, it's like super dope. We just weren't down there. And I found that very funny and made a lot of jokes at Carl's expense, but also like it wasn't as bad as I was exaggerating it into be. Just like a 25-minute Uber, and then you get there, and then it's a pretty great city. So,
Right. And then you want
but
to and then you want to go back. So you got to go there, get your credential, go back. and then you gotta go back.
That was it was not fun to like do multiple trips a day. So you almost had
Yeah,
to like prep and bring all your stuff to go there once and drag it all with you and then come back later. That was the
right.
annoying part, but it really didn't get as in the way of it as I acted like it did. I'm just a dramatic person and a very
You fought
pessimistic
through
person.
adversity this weekend too. You know, you were sick.
Was sick.
You were sick. Other life things. I mean, you are a fresh new father as well. And you battled through. So I give you
Was
credit there.
fresh. That I appreciate that. Anyways, so let's go through a couple of the specific days. So we get in Friday, and Friday night is historically like one of the big let's all get together nights.
Yes.
So we had a big let's all get together at a bar. Was it Mad Dog downtown?
Mad Dog Tavern.
Mad Dog Tavern. Pretty great bar. Paint the scene of this bar for us, Cart.
So I think it's a classic. To me, it was like a classic Irish bar, but they labeled it as a British bar with a Scottish flag in it. That was my one downside to this bar. You know, you're hosting a Final Four. A lot of tall people in town that weekend, and you got flags that hang at half mast, half staff, whatever that phrase is. I was just hitting my head on flags all night.
It was a big low hanging flag. It was
Yeah,
kind of crazy. So
it's insane.
yeah.
But I liked it. I liked it. Also, I liked it too because I liked prices in San Antonio.
Yeah,
Like
surprisingly cheap
it
drinks.
wasn't big city prices. It wasn't like Phoenix prices. It wasn't like if you go to like a Chicago or something like that. It was like everything was very well priced.
Yeah, surprisingly cheap drink situation, which was pretty great. But yeah, so that Friday night was really fun. Immediately pull up, we're all trying to get a little fitted, get a little fit off, have a nice night. And we pull up as the four of us as the sleepers crew. And actually we get down, we Uber down, and this is our first time getting downtown, so we're feeling it all out. And the Uber drops us off, and Dion's first words were, "Where's the river?" I don't see the river because the Uber just dropped us off nowhere near the river. Had to walk around find the river. Once we found the river, it was incredible. And from there, it was a lot of the people we were trying to meet were already there. So we pull up and saw like Evan Miyakawa, Tristan Freeman, Eli, and the Heat Check crew. Brian Ralph was there and Three Man Weave guys were there. Good to see Jim and Kai as well. Ryan Hammer was there. That was the first time I had ever met Ryan Hammer in person. That was really dope. And Jamie Shaw, I'm just name dropping now, but like people kind of came and went from this bar. Joe Tipton, and it's like, what? Oh, what's up? This is great. People we've interacted with online coming to chill. And we just had a really fun, like, there were no obligations on Friday night, right? At this point, everyone's just there to have fun, which, would you say fun was had?
Yeah, maybe a little too much, but fun was definitely had for sure.
Fun was had. One element of fun being had, I think. You and I are vets of having fun. Well, I like to think we're vets of having fun in general with life, but we're definitely vets of having fun, like, in the college basketball sphere, and vets of having fun as a pair,
Hmm.
respectfully to anybody else. Like, I know how to have fun when Cart's having fun. And I
Yeah,
think vice versa. I know what my role is. I know what his needs are. It's just going to work. Dion didn't. Dion was new to this, and you can't blame him for that. But I talk about this all the time, Cart. When you are a normal to slightly below normal sized human being, and you think that you're drinking or having a great night on the level with Carter Elliott, it catches up to you rather quickly, and you don't realize it's catching up to you. And long story short, we lost Dion.
yeah, he wandered.
Like we lost him.
Yes. And look, Dion knew. Also, Dion was fresh off a bagel. That's what he had that day. He had a bagel, and Dion, like for I don't know how to like throw a lemur next to an elephant. Like I think that's for scale what we're working with. And yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, you've taken down many a man before.
Yeah, I don't like the sound of that, but yeah.
You have, yeah. Honestly, it kind of felt like that's the moment we knew that like Dion earned his stripes. It's like a frat initiation, right?
Right.
Little
And also
hazing.
like and also like he was excited to see everybody, which that was an underrated part of it.
That was fun.
I was excited how excited people were to meet Dion and JK.
For sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, Dion kept looking like he would look up and just be like, that's Jeff Goodman. Like he was so mind blown that he was like at a table with a vodka with Jeff Goodman. Speaking of Goodman, by the way, I haven't talked to Jeff or Rob Doster in person in like 2 years, ever since I left Field of 68. And I don't know how much people know the story of that, but would say we didn't leave on the best of terms. No hard feelings. It was my fault. I screwed up and basically sort of tarnished that relationship, and it's one of my big professional regrets. But I haven't seen those guys in a couple of years. We didn't see them last Final Four, largely because we were doing Bleacher Report stuff, and I was a little nervous to see them, to be honest. And they pulled up first night. We kind of knew we were going to see each other, and just immediately like good again to be with those guys. Like Jeff and I had a really good chat. Rob's always really fun at events like this. I love those guys. So it felt good. It felt like a little bit of breath of fresh air to like, oh yeah, like I missed these guys. They're still really fun, great people. So that was a fun element for me on Friday. And then Rob hit us with like a really nice tweet yesterday. You see that?
Yeah, Rob's always been very 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 helpful. And even like, it's underrated, but like when we lost YouTube and like we're tripping about it, like Rob was one of the people to text us and like try to help us out, which like that meant a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I called him in a panic and I again hadn't talked to him in like a year and he just like immediately picked up, ready to help. So we honestly owe a big portion of our careers to those guys because we got a launching point, thank you, thanks to Jeff Goodman, pretty much point blank. So it was fun to be with those guys.
Let's scale it back a little bit. I don't know Rob Dowser shit.
It was fun with those guys, and yeah, it was hilarious. Just every time they walked by, Dion would be like, "That's Jeff and Rob." Like, he was starstruck. So we lose Dion. That was tough. Also, want to make it clear, it was your fault we lost Dion.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Like why?
no,
So
it's not.
JK and
It's
I had responsibly left. We had a moment on the Riverwalk. We like it was literally a huddle, a sleeper's huddle, and I looked everybody in the eyes and I assessed needs, and I was like, Jacob wants food. I want bed. This is like a little after midnight. It was still pretty early. You just had a look in your eye. You wanted touch
I
tunes.
wanted touch tunes.
And Dion, I don't think knew what he wanted. And
Yeah,
when
I don't
you
think.
said I
Yeah,
want touch tunes, you said I'm taking Dion. And that's
yeah.
where I never should have let that happen as CEO.
It's Rouse older than me though.
Brian Ralph was also there. We could also shift blame to Brian Ralph for this because you left Jacob and I as a trio, Carter Elliott, Brian Ralph, and Dion. And the night ended as a duo. And you guys
Yeah.
seemingly did not care that Dion wasn't there.
Yes, we did. Yeah, and for moments that cannot be discussed, I thought Dion was somewhere else.
Yeah. So, anyways, Dion made it home somehow, some way. The first thing he woke me up at 6 in the morning, said, "Gee, I'm so sorry. I'm flying home." And I said, "Dog, what? Like, go to bed. You're fine." And then he was fine. He didn't embarrass himself at all, but the night caught up to him, to say the least. So then we get to Saturday. It's the first day of games. But there was a big media hoop run before that, which you partake in every year. How'd you play in the media hoop run?
Yeah, media hoop run was a nice shot to CJ Moore from the Athletic, who took over kind of like running it. It's him and Thamel who do it every year. Pete Thamel at ESPN, and they basically hit up like the local GAs or staff that they know, see a gym we can get into, and then there's a charity. Everyone puts in $10 for basically gym time slash donation to charity, kinda. And a lot of media members play. I will say this. The quality of the runs were a little bit lower this year, with given the numbers there. Typically we'll have like, like the Terrence Ogilvies of the world, some like former Division One hoopers there, or even like current GAs who are basically like Division One hoopers there. Didn't have that this year, but still some good runs. Three-man weave guys, always good hoopers. Basically just think of like a bunch of Sam Deckers, and then you'll get like Jim Root and Kai. But my MVP for Hooper that I didn't know could get down like that. Shout out to Isaac Trotter at 24/7 Sports. Kid can go. Also found out that Isaac's like 26, 27. Killer of a young kid. I guess I can call him young kid now, but like he can really hoop. Really, really hoop. Also, CJ Moore can hoop as well. A little Raul Neto, Ricky Rubio build on
That's
him.
crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, he's an elite passer.
Were you happy with your performance? Do you think like other people, if asked, are they name dropping you as one of the first names of like, man, Cart from Sleepers can kind of go?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Think so? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. It
There was
sounded
a
like
moment though. There was a moment during one game where I quote Mr. Trotter said, "Man, you let Cart get to that left shoulder. It's game time. He's in his TKR bag right now." That hurt. That hurt, and I immediately scored with the left hand after that and hit this and looked at Trotter. I said, "Come on now."
that's nice. That's really nice. Yeah, I was getting a lot of videos sent. I didn't go to this. I've never done one of the media games, even though I get the invites and I usually lie to people and say, yeah, I'll be there. Like this year
Yeah.
it was Miyakawa who was like, you're coming, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm probable. Yeah. In my head, no chance. Like I'm just sleeping in. I don't know why it is I don't want to play in those, but there is a genuine like I don't really want to go play in those. I heard next year in Indy it's going to be in Hinkle Fieldhouse though,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Yeah.
I'll be playing in that one.
You won't.
I no, I really think I will. If it's at Hinkle,
You won't.
I bet you I will.
Okay. I'll put any money
Do
you
you think
want.
I would hold up in those runs or no? Maybe that's
Yeah.
part of why I don't want to play.
You you 1,000%. Yes.
This year's I feel good about based on the rebounding videos I saw.
Any other ones? Yes.
Even other ones?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, good on you. And
It's
then
perfect. It's perfect for you. You want to be like a spot up shooter. You got a bunch of dudes just setting you up.
is that actually how it goes? I do feel like in general, for as far as pickup runs go, the media hoop runs would probably be a pretty high IQ run because
Yeah.
it's a bunch of basketball dudes that like know to like set screens and
Yeah.
like play
It
the
is
game the
that.
right way.
Yeah, it is that for sure.
So I would love that. Yeah, maybe I'll have to come next year. So then we had to go pick up credentials. So me and JK met you down at the convention center. Beautiful convention center downtown. We pick up the credentials. It's always crazy to get your credential at the Final Four. You just feel so big time when you get it. And yeah, any other stories from that day before the actual games?
I mean, how about the fact that y'all couldn't get in the convention center for like 20 minutes?
Took us about an hour, once again exaggerating, but took us about an hour to get into the convention center. They just had every door locked, and our Uber driver dropped us off like on the opposite side of the stadium. So we had to walk all the way around. But yeah, that was wild. We were trying to find merch. That was a big theme. Jacob really wanted merch from his first Final Four and just couldn't find like a merch table anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, not a merch table in sight anywhere,
Nothing.
or just bad awareness by JK in locating merch. Didn't want to say that at the time because the kid was on a mission, but like, we've been to many Final Fours. We've located merch within 15 minutes. It took him 3 days to get merch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he did it. He did well.
They bought us
Just
merch too.
yeah, he did. I
Well,
got a
bought it
Venmo there
for
too.
us.
I still got a Venmo. So
You're good.
then we.
You're good.
Oh, thanks. We
Yeah, because
get to the games.
that was a theme of mine this weekend. While also being like, I was hyped to bring JK and do things like JK. Also wanted to carry myself like I'm an asshole boss at times. Like I wanted JK to feel like I could have fired him at any time and send him home.
You said that bluntly many
Yes.
times this weekend. Yeah,
Yes.
there was this weird. I think people probably don't care about. It's probably not that entertaining to listen to, but like the weird part of the weekend for us very much was realizing like we're here with the company we run instead of just like we're here having fun on our own and trying to merge the two of that together. I think was a little bit of a wake up call for you and I. It also like I think when we sit here in our basements and like try to do the day to day of sleepers, tell me if you disagree, but I feel like most of the time like I take on the like running shit role and like I'm just logistically setting shit up. I'm replying to sponsors, I'm making sure everything's working and like you're just supposed to show up and record. But on this trip, you were like the boss here, I feel like. Like you were calling shots. You were like we were on Cart's terms and you made JK feel very clear that he could be cut at any time.
Yeah, I was like, at a certain point, I was like, yeah, I am here and this is us. So like, don't talk back.
It was weird for me to watch you take on like that direct role.
Yeah, like he said that I take 5 seconds when I hit stop record sometimes and he has to edit it. And I was like, you know what? I'm taking 30. Just edit it.
Yeah.
I will fire you. But
You
also I
said
love you.
you said I will fire you a lot. In the end, though, want to make it clear, stock up, JK, pretty big in my eyes after this
Massive
trip.
stock up.
Yeah, pretty big. You got to be able to like endure us, and JK not only is able to endure us, but like he stands up to us at the right moments, and I appreciate that and respect him a lot for that.
Yeah, he's ours.
Yeah, one of one.
Love him.
Love him. Okay, so
But
then we
we'll
get to the
fire him.
game. We get to the semifinal games. Any honestly, I was thinking about this earlier when we were going to tell the story. I feel like the most anticlimactic part of the trip story for us is the actual games. Like they were just great games. I don't think we have any like great stories from behind the scenes during the games, unless I'm missing something.
No, games are great. We'll say though, we'll say. Um,
We interrupt this sleepers video to talk directly to you, our loyal listener. Have you ever found yourself watching us two idiots thinking, hey, I wish there was a very easy, small way for me to show a token of my appreciation for all of their hard work on all these videos I love to watch? Well, now we have just the way to do that.
Thanks to the beautiful folks over at Underdog Fantasy. They are helping us out this month, presenting a lot of the content coming out this month, giving you a chance with a amazing offer that you can use using our promo code that Gregory will tell you more about.
Yeah, so college hoop season's over, but we got like big time golf tournaments. The NBA playoffs are coming. Baseball season's underway. There's still a bunch of sports on. There's still a bunch of ways to play with Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SLEEPERS. As a new customer, you can get up to 1,000 bonus credits plus a free pick. It's one of the most fun ways to play. It's a great way to support us. And on some actual like non-ad read stuff, talking genuinely here, really helps us because if Underdog loves us, if we get a lot of people to sign up, they're going to help us continue to bring you the content that you love. Show your support. Join Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get up to $1,000 in bonus credits and a free pick.
Not having pizza at the championship game hurt. That hurt.
That's tough. Yeah, so they had us. It's similar seating every single year. But they have you if you're not one of the courtside media members, which shout to Evan Miyakawa, by the way, who got the upgrade this year. But they put you behind one of the two baselines, and there's basically platformed 4 rows of media seats with probably a couple hundred media members behind each of them. And so we had the same seats both nights, very similar to seats that I've had previous trips. And this was your first time in those seats since last year when you were credentialed. We were up at the red couch with Bleacher. What do you make of the seats? Because a lot of people are torn on this. I saw Titus, who obviously Titus became a big story this weekend. Titus did not like the media seats. He had a little clip that went viral around that. I think the media seats are pretty great on the baseline. What'd you think?
Yeah, I like the media seats, to be honest with you. And I mean, would you have rather been like courtside? Like, duh, yeah, but the seats were great. I
It
like the
was like a
seats.
lower
I like
bowl,
yeah,
like a
lower
really good
bowl,
lower bowl seat for free.
good setup, like the floor, like your eye level with the floor.
Yeah.
Can I also say one thing about our personal feelings that made me feel a lot better about the actual games?
Yeah.
There was no red couch.
That was big.
That
So
was
we
big.
had a little conspiracy theory. So Bleacher had told us, "Oh, we're not doing it this year. First time in like a decade we couldn't find a sponsor for it. Sorry guys." And Cart and I deep down pit in our stomach were like, "I wonder if they just told us that and they're still going to do it." And yeah, walked in first thing, we looked for the red couch, didn't have the red couch. So feels good to know that Bleacher's still a trusted partner of ours. You can
Yeah,
catch us on the BR app every day, 3:30
yeah, well,
p.m. Eastern.
and this came because we went to the Fan Fest, and I'm hearing that we can't secure funding, but yet I see Wendy's with a festival.
The exact word from Bleacher Report was, yeah, Wendy's dropped out as the presenting sponsor. We're trying to find another, but if we don't find one, we're probably off this year. Sorry, guys. And again, last year we were told the stream like broke records. So we were surprised they couldn't sell it. Anyways, we get to the Fan Fest, and the first thing we see is this humongous Wendy's platform. It's like the Wendy's Fan Fest. So like you can't find sponsor money. Wendy's is pumping money. But maybe Wendy's did that on their own. Maybe that's why they moved the Bleacher Report budget. Who knows? Anyways, Bleacher Report didn't hoe us. That was the greatest news of the weekend for us. And I saw Robbie Hummel at the airport flying out on Tuesday morning, and was chopping it up with him just briefly as we were checking a bag. And he was like, "Hey, were you guys here for Bleacher?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Oh yeah, me either. You think they'll do that again next year?" And I was like, "I hope so, man." He was like, "Yeah, me too. That was fun." And that was the biggest morale lift ever for me. If Hummel wants the same project with us with Bleacher, that's a humongous win. And apparently it wasn't available to Hummel this year either, Cart.
Yeah. Want to have it again next year though. This is not a
Please.
confrontational
Yeah.
statement. Just want that to be known.
But you have your own idea, which did come up during the Saturday night games. If there is no Bleacher Report Red Couch, you are proposing we do a Sleepers Concourse Couch.
Yeah, because we operate a little bit different than other media members. Like, some have to write articles, upload photos during halftime, maybe grab a snack, a coffee. We go to the
No, we don't.
concourse.
We peruse.
Yeah, we peruse.
We find our way. A lot of people go straight to the media room. Like if it's a timeout, let me go to the media room. We go to the concourse. We want to be in the mix with the fans. That's what we do.
Yeah, so we hit the concourse. And as we're just kind of hanging out on the concourse level, just looking around, seeing what's going on, just notice that you just see everyone. Like we saw Dan Hurley just walk in the concourse, full suit, by the way.
That's one of the best stories of the weekend, I think. So in the middle of the first game, Dan Hurley is walking by and Dion spotted him quickly. It was like, "That's Dan Hurley." We turn, we're watching him, and there was like it was a packed concourse. Like there's like a big glob of people in the middle of it. And Dan Hurley very easily could have like turned to the right and walked around the mound of people. And instead, Dan Hurley, I kid you not, just like powered his way through like 30 fans, like bumping all of them along the way. And watching that in person is one of my favorite things I've ever seen. I now love Dan Hurley after seeing that. It was such a ridiculous move to not just like move slightly and walk around people. And instead, I'm Dan Hurley. I'm going through people. Move for me. It was great.
Fully suited too.
Fully suited, shiny head and all. It was special. Who else did we see on the concourse? I kept throwing out names that weren't real
Yeah, well,
of
you kept
people.
making up people. We thought we saw Michael Saravino. We did not. You thought we saw some dude from Succession. We did not. Um, yeah, there was a lot that was not seen, but you thought you saw.
Put some respect on Kieran Culkin. Yeah,
That wasn't him.
one of my favorite bits is just to basically be like, "That's somebody," and it's just someone who like vaguely looks like a person that it actually is. But a few times I'll get it right. Like that's Mario Chalmers. Was Mario
Yeah,
Chalmers.
that was a good bit, which brings me to my idea. The concourse couch.
Yeah.
Set up a couch on the concourse. We just watch people walk by in the concourse. Greg said we should watch the game. I was completely ready to just not have any link to the game. Like people are walking the concourse, and I'm just asking them like, who's playing, what's the score, or just listening to the noise in the background. But we probably should watch the game. But there's a lot going on in the concourse. I feel like you're missing out on.
It's one of my favorite ideas from you ever. The concourse couch would be electric, and I'm hoping we can one day make that
What
real.
what's a better idea by me? The concourse couch or the drive in the GR to fly into the Final Four in Detroit?
Concourse couch. Driving to
Okay.
GR to fly to Detroit is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, don't like that one. But yeah. Anyways, so Saturday night's games and obviously an electric finish. Let's just touch on that briefly. We did a little bit of recap stuff on this, but Florida Auburn was a great game. Got the vibes high. The whole arena turned on Duke at that point because Florida desperately wants to play Houston in the title. Auburn hates Duke and is pissed off if they're still around. And Houston was the home crowd team as is. I will say, like, Duke fans showed out. It felt like there were a lot of Duke fans there. But then you look down, they have like the student seating, and Duke can't fill the student section as much like
Yeah.
UConn last year because there's just not enough students.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say they were a bad crowd, but like that should just give you a sense of like it was like 90% pulling for Houston by that point. And Duke has this big lead. It just feels like they're coasting. And all of a sudden, weird shit started happening. And with 4 minutes left, it very much felt like, oh my God, something's happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, I feel like every media member in there got cold taked after that because I mean, people were moving on to Florida Duke.
Yeah. But no,
Like it
everybody in
was
Media
there.
Row was literally finishing their work early so they could hit the bars or get home. And they had to completely redo their work after Houston's comeback.
Yeah, I will say the Houston comeback was electric, given like how the crowd got involved and how everyone got involved in it because it was. I think I saw Sheehan tweet this, and I agree with it 1,000%. You got to go to a Final Four, even if you are like in the farthest seat in the house, just because the experience in there is crazy, especially during high level games like that. It is so loud in there, truly.
Yeah. One of the crazier game experiences I've ever had. I've talked about this before. I think people know this. Like, I have some anxiety stuff that happens from time to time that I live with. And when I'm traveling, it gets worse. But like in a big stadium, sometimes it can hit. And there's two times in these 4 years I've done this where I've like felt like, oh my God, like I can't even catch my breath right now. One was the Duke North Carolina game a couple years ago where Caleb Love hit the big shot. That was like my first Final Four. I couldn't believe the moment of this rivalry. It's Coach K's final game, and I was just like gasping for air. Like I literally need to walk around and catch my breath. This Duke loss, like the way it happened, the fashion in which they melted down, the comeback, and just the moment after. Honestly, the moment after the buzzer sounded, I will remember for the rest of my life. Looking around, the shock in everyone's faces. I don't even think Houston fans could believe it. I don't think Duke fans could process the fact that you had let it slip. I think it was like it was just looking at the players. Like I can't believe Cooper Flag missed that shot. The way that Tyrese Proctor missed the free throw, all of it, the sequence of it was insane, and it felt like the loudest arena I've ever been in. We had to walk to get an Uber after that, and I mean I felt like I was hyperventilating for like 10 minutes after that game. It was crazy.
Yeah, when we woke up the next day and we recorded like some videos, some portal stuff. And then we got to the recaps around noon, I think. And I still could not like actually process that had happened.
Yeah. And when those
Still really,
moments happen, those to me are the moments that like make this most special. Because that's just something for the rest of my life. I will be like, I can't believe I was like there working while that happened. You know?
yeah, like we were there. We were at the San Antonio Final Four when it was chalk at the Riverwalk.
Yeah, just crazy. All right. So then wake up Monday, we slept in or Sunday, slept in on Sunday a little bit. We basically just hung out at the Airbnb all day Sunday. Brian Ralph pulled up. Shout out to Max Wheezy, Max
That's
Millington, if you
Wheezy.
remember from Sleepers football coverage. He was covering the Final Four as well. So he came to the Airbnb on Sunday night. And yeah, just had a good time, recorded some Portal videos in the morning, just hung out all day, listened to music, had a great day Sunday, and then decided we would go to a golf simulator Sunday night. So we pull up the six of us, you, me, Dion, JK, Ralph, and Max to a golf simulator that Dion booked. And it was a fun time.
That
Simulator on
that
watch.
that Dion booked for two on Friday as a message to me because there was a theme that cart was on cart time the whole time. So everyone else started making plans by themselves.
So in sequence, a few things that would indicate to us that we were on card time. Just the whole logistical weekend itself, like you booking something so far away and not really telling us in the lead up to this event. You like JK had to text you multiple times asking like what's my flight, and you were like, I haven't bought it yet, chill. And he's like, it's a week away. And you're like, you try to send him to an airport 3 hours away. Just felt like a lot of intentional, like, I'm going to come up with things that make it more difficult on you guys because I'm cart and I want to. And not only that, now that I've talked through this, another theme for your week was you love telling people how you realized you can get away with doing anything and use the excuse, I'm cart. Oh,
Yeah.
that's just cart. And
Mhm.
you said that like proudly with your chest. You can do whatever you want. It's okay. I'm cart.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous
And
because
you
I
also
true
said, like in telling that story, that us three, Dion, JK, and myself, are the only three that hold you accountable. So I
Hmm.
think that those were the two forces at friction this weekend. It's this weekend that Cart set up for us. Cart planned. On night one, Cart loses Dion. On night two, he wakes up in the morning. We're all like worried about Dion, and Cart's just like, I'm leaving to go hoop. Y'all can come meet me when I'm done.
Hmm.
And Jacob came and woke me up, was just like, Cart says we need to go meet him. And I'm like, I'm on Cart time? Like, Cart lost Dion last night. What are we doing? So, yeah, as a point of retaliation, Dion just booked a golf simulator without telling you. And we were going to just ambush you and drag you to the golf simulator without you knowing.
Yeah, but now can we actually talk about the simulator and how I thought it was trash?
Yeah, you had big beef with the simulator.
Well, because I had just gone to a simulator like a week before. Now, granted, with my clubs, I get it, but I'm just, I don't want to complain too much. But there was some shots that I hit on the simulator. I'm just like, there's no way that's how this shot should have gone. Should it have been perfect? No, but should it have done what it done? Absolutely not. Also learned a lot about our competition and conceding.
Yeah. Yeah,
No
it
one
was
conceded holes.
well you just after every single shot you'd be like concede because we played 3-on-3. It was me, Card, and Dion. Of course, we strong armed our way into that team versus JK, Brian Ralph, and Max Wheezy. And Jacob on paper was the best golfer. Like coming in, like we set up these teams in a certain way, partially because Jacob was like just he's the best golfer, right? You talk about how everybody's good. We know that JK is a really good golfer. Me and Dion are okay. You're okay. Brian Ralph was honestly, I think, sandbagging. He was acting like he never golfs, but he had a pretty nice swing.
Yeah.
So we split up these teams. The teams ended up pretty fair, but we lost a bunch of holes early because we were just like conceding holes. And we weren't getting holes conceded in reciprocation. Ralph was one who he kept saying to JK, "Oh, no, never concede. We can always come back." And he was right. Ralph was very right. But ended up being a stressful, dramatic finish because we were down 4 holes with like 6 to play. And I think we won 5 straight holes. We were up one with 1 to play. Brian Ralph with a really clutch shot. Things got testy a little bit. Me and JK had to be separated at one moment at the golf simulator, which is on brand for both of us. And I think in the end, we all had a great time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in the end, it ended up being a great time, but it was very testy during simulator times.
Yeah, which competitive juice is flowing. It's also a running theme. We're now 4 years into this. Every year, I play like one game of something competitive against Brian Ralph, and I'm 0 and 4 in 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. What I mean, if you hooped, you could have beat him in hoop.
He's crazy good at all games that just like bar games. Something that you can have a beer while doing, Ralph is gonna win.
Ralph's special this whole weekend, to be
He really
honest.
was. He was impressive. So, anyways, all right. From there, JK and I went home and watched White Lotus. Great finale. Had a blast. JK ordered tacos, and you and Ralph and well, Dion came with us. Actually, went to bed. Learned from his mistakes. You and Ralph went and experienced the streets.
Yeah, because like Sunday is like everyone in the media goes out on Sunday nights because the Monday night game's not you have no obligations basically until the game the next day. So met up with some other guys who did not come out Friday. So saw like Borzello, kicked it with Gary Parrish and Norlander, a couple of the CBS crew guys, and got saw Kevin Sweeney, saw Eli. Yeah, just got to meet a lot of the other media guys who I didn't get to see on Friday.
Eli had quite a weekend. It sounded like he was very much in like a 9 inning game. I would say the whole weekend.
Yeah, yeah, he was born on third base though,
Okay.
and he had a balk. I don't even know the rules of a balk, but he got sent back to second.
Yeah.
Um, but he fought back.
Yeah, he did the best he could. Well, it sounded like you had a good time Sunday night. I have no regrets over going home for White Lotus, though. Maybe I'm old, maybe I'm washed, but great
Lo-
finale.
Lotus slapped.
It slapped. It was crazy. And like Airbnb had a great TV watching room. We had a nice little recliner, like movie theater style. It hit. It was
Yeah,
special.
yeah,
So
B&B
then
slapped.
Monday, you're basically just waiting around for the national championship game. Championship game was great. We really on Monday, I think we're just trying to like there is an element of like let's get in and out for this, partially because we all knew in the back of our mind that we had basically a red eye the next morning. So yeah, enjoyed the national championship game. We went to, what was the bar called? We basically
Tommy's tailgate.
Tommy's Tailgate was a special bar on the way. We went just the four of us. Played cornhole, played pickleball. I am undefeated in 2 years of Final Four trips of pickleball now. You and I together.
Salute.
Yeah, so that was fun. I did try to convince you guys to stay at Tommy's Tailgate and miss the national championship game, and
Yeah.
luckily you said we're not doing that.
Yeah, I had to step up in that moment. And yeah, we had to.
I appreciate that. You
12,
always see this is what I'm talking about. We know what each other need on trips. I needed you to be like, Greg, let's go to the national championship game.
yeah, 12, the 12 TV setup almost had us. So I mean, the spot was great. Don't get me wrong.
If I see 12 TVs perfectly stacked vertical on
This,
a wall,
I'm not just saying this. This was the most like perfect bar I've ever been to.
yeah, it really was set up.
Like it had everything.
And it was empty when we got there, which felt like
Yeah.
it was just for us. It was special. So yeah, the game was great. National championship game was great. I don't think we have any crazy stories from that game. Anything from your mind
No,
there?
cool to see Jacob. Jacob wanted to get on the court for his first Final Four. He was very excited to do that. He got his flicks off. He also big timed me on the court, which was wild after I made sure I stayed with him and went on the court with him. But yeah, it was just a good national championship game. Actually had an easier time getting out and back than we did before on the actual Final Four night, the semis. So yeah, it was a good experience. Got back. Uh,
You had a little side quest out of nowhere in the middle of the game where you were trying to find LJ Cason's AAU coach's phone.
that
You
was on
want to
the final.
explain?
That was on the semi night.
Oh, that was a semi. I'm getting them confused. But can you tell that story? Because that was a strange one.
Yeah. So as we're going and wandering, some guy sees my credentials and he's like, "Does that get you on the court?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it does." And he's like, "I got a favor to ask you. I really need your help." And I was like, "What's up?" And he goes, "I dropped my phone beneath the bleachers. I want to go look under the bleachers, but they won't let me get on the floor. Can you help me out?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Like I'll be on the floor anyway. I'll check it out for you." Little did I know that his section was like 14 sections away. So as we're making the walk to his section, we started talking. I'm telling him about our podcast and whatnot, and like how we're from Michigan. He's like, "Oh yeah, Michigan. I rock with Michigan. One of my players is at University of Michigan." I'm like, "Oh, who?" He goes, "LJ Kaysen." I'm like, "Oh, that's crazy." My co-host, like, he loves LJ Kaysen.
Yeah,
Um,
the co-host who was right there, like in a concession line, you didn't think to like tell me what you were doing or maybe introduce me. Instead, you
yep,
just left with LJ Cason's AAU coach without telling me where you were going.
yep, cart
So,
time.
so I had to follow you and chase you down. You walk halfway around the stadium and then down into the actual like normal seats where all of a sudden I just see you like frantically looking. And I finally hit you and I was like, Cart, what are we doing? You're like, oh, I'm trying to help him find his phone. That's LJ Cason's AAU coach. To which my reply was, why? The game is going on.
Yeah, didn't get it. Didn't work out. But if he listens to this, good to know.
It was special. All right. So then, yeah, then we just flew home, red eye flight, airport in the morning. We had to leave our Airbnb at like 3:30. San Antonio airport, very small, but you kind of see like a bunch of media folks in the airport on the way home, which is crazy. So like Fanta pulled up. Who else did we see at the airport on the final way? Like Reese Davis was randomly there.
Yeah, reached that. Swaggy P,
Yeah, you
Hummel,
guys thought Nick Young was there. It wasn't Nick Young.
Hummel was there. Who else was there? Alex Rodriguez.
Shout out to Sabaro for being open that early too. Special.
Yeah, not airport bars though.
Not great. But yeah, then we had like a 3 hour, 2 hour, 2.5 hour, 2.5 hour layover in Dallas before getting home. I got my appropriate Jack and diets, and then we made it home safe.
Shout out to TGI Fridays.
So all in all, rate the trip and give me like stock up, stock down.
I'd rate it like an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10.
Where does it rank on your final four trips? We've done four trips together now to the last four Final Fours. We think and we hope we're going to do this for a very long time. Where does
Second behind Phoenix.
Phoenix 1,
Yeah.
San Antonio 2, Then what? Houston, then New Orleans?
Yeah, I think I'll go that. Yep.
I think I'm going. Okay, I'm going third, I think I'm going behind Houston. Phoenix for sure one, Houston two, San Antonio three, New Orleans four.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, okay. Stock up, stock down?
On us or what? Well, on what?
Anything. Anything from the weekend. Give me like a few stock up, stock downs. Like for me, stock up JK in a big way.
Stock up JK. Stock up. Um, Stock up Dion, even though that's not even possible. Stock up me and Dion in person. Um,
Stock up Ralph too. Ralph was a big winner of the weekend, I think.
yeah, Ross will win winner. Stock down Golf Simulator. Stock down me logistically planning. Um, yeah, that about sums it up.
Stock down Texas for me. Not
Yeah,
specifically San Antonio, but the state of Texas. Just a lot like you can't gamble there. A couple other things we like couldn't do there. We couldn't get liquor on a Sunday there. Crazy. The
yeah,
weather was jumping around. Weather was
yeah.
90 and then it was 60.
I'm out on Tech. Yeah, out on Texas. Texas is not for me.
Like I know like there's gonna be like Houston, Dallas, San Antonio again in the future Final Fours.
No gambling.
I'm not really looking forward to those trips.
No FanDuel.
The San Antonio airport was just like, I don't know. I
Out.
stock down Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point.
But outside of that, great trip.
Great trip. Great. Actually, sorry. Last thing. Stock up San Antonio Final Four branding though.
Color scheme was crazy.
Color scheme was great.
Stock up, I think, the sport of college basketball.
Yeah, we won.
This felt like an important moment for the sport.
Yes, we won.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks for listening. That was probably long and rambling, and I have no idea how entertaining or not that was. Let us know in the comments if you enjoy this type of thing or if we don't need to do this going forward. But a little look behind the scenes into how our week went. Thank you to everybody who supported us this season. We appreciate it. It is not lost on us that it's really cool that we get to do this. And the Final Four is the biggest embodiment of that every single year. It's crazy to me that I just get to go to these games and do it with some of my best friends. So, thank you to everybody who supports us and has allowed this to grow into a place where we can make that happen. We hope that you found our content entertaining all season long and entertaining this week. For quick touch point on future things this offseason, I sent this to our Discord, but so everybody knows, we are right back at it. We've got a bunch of portal videos coming up. We'll do portals and shorts basically every single day, right now, onward every day. The Sleepers podcast is back next week. We're taking the rest of this week off, but it'll return as normal 5 days a week next week. We're doing live shows in the Bleacher Report app, 3:30 p.m. Eastern every single day, 5 days a week. That doesn't end in the off season. So still a lot of ways to get content from us. We still want to be your home for entertaining sports content 5 days a week into the off season. So click subscribe and all that. Thank you all for the support. We appreciate you. And go watch the other shit on the channel.